Hello, and thanks for joining me for this Setlist Manager 3 demo. Let's dive in by opening out bars and beats-based Pro Tools session. We'll also get Setlist Manager up and running by launching Apple Test Flight. Here, you can also see information related to the latest release, including an app description and what to test. Let's click Open to get started. As Setlist Manager opens, it quickly scans your entire Pro Tools session for all memory locator information. Okay, just a few initial settings in Pro Tools. Firstly, we'll go to Setup, Peripherals, Machine Control, and enable the MIDI Machine Control remote by clicking the checkbox. Next, we'll enable the Setlist Manager virtual port in Setup, MIDI, MIDI Input Devices, and clicking the Setlist Manager virtual output checkbox. Great. Now that's done, we can start building our first set list. The top left table is all set lists for this session. Let's do a quick rename. The bottom left table is all memory locations in this session, so let's start dragging them over to our current set list on the right side.
Oh, it looks like we've a couple of mongooses. Let's remove one by clicking the Remove button in the lower right.
Okay, we have our llama model and outro, and let's put a TV edit and our test tones at the end. Can we mute please, front of house? So we can select and scroll up and down our set list using either our keyboard arrow keys or via a MIDI controller that we'll look at a bit later. The selected locator is shown by the red border. But if we hit the right arrow key, the locator turns green as we launch the locator, and a timeline selection appears in Pro Tools. We can continue moving around the set list with the up and down arrow keys, and launching each timeline selection with a right arrow key press. Again, this can be set to any incoming MIDI command in Settings. Okay, let's hit spacebar while in Setlist Manager to fire the Pro Tools playhead. The row turns solid green, and our position in the timeline selection is shown by the Setlist Manager playhead. When we reach the end of each timeline selection, Setlist Manager automatically launches the next locator in our setlist, ready for the all-important go command for the next song. Let's speed things up a bit. So, what happens when we change the timeline in our Pro Tools session? We have a small edit section set up. Let's insert a few bars into our session using the time operations. Okay, crucially, when we go back to launch a locator, Setlist Manager will spot a change to the locator points and rescan the entire session to update the locally stored locator information. This just-in-time approach automatically keeps up with any edits you might have done in your Pro Tools session, so the locator recall just works. Let's duplicate our first set list so we can create a new running order. Let's change the intro, move a few locators around, and let's put in our large llama dance anthem edit to spice things up a bit. Let's take out the old llama and dance anthem cues and drop in an encore before the outro. Great. Let's take a look at setting up the external MIDI commands. We'll go to Setlist Manager Preferences and be sure we have the correct MIDI input port selected. We can then click Learn to assign incoming MIDI commands to both the up and down functions, a stop command, and finally a combined launch and play command. With all those set, we can now run the set list from our external MIDI controller. The small edit button reduces the window width, so Pro Tools can have the majority of screen space. If we're using a MIDI controller, Pro Tools can remain the foreground app, so we never need to switch back and forth between applications. The MIDI commands just work in the background. Let's do some quick changes to give our setup a bit of stress testing. Okay, looks good. We just need to route MTC to our backup machine and our Pro Tools and Setlist Manager macOS playback rig is ready to go. Please let us know if you have any comments, thoughts, or ideas on how we could improve Setlist Manager. Keep an eye on fluke.com and the GitHub beta page for more updates. But for now, thanks for joining us.